Welcome to another episode of Musings with Yo-Yo. Today, I'm very excited to have on my friend, my soulmate, former roommate, Beyonce's inspiration for Black Parade, let's be real, Ezinne. I'm very excited to have you on here.
Soulmate.
So this is my soulmate, the Christina to my Meredith, all of that. I'm very excited to have you on here. This is my first American interviewee. So let me start off by asking you, how are you holding up in Trump's America? How you doing? How's your week been? How you hanging?
I'm so... It's the ghetto. This is all I that we're in the ghetto. Like, Canada is probably like, you guys live on top of a meth lab. So at any point in time, we can blow up.
Like, honestly, every day I look at something new.
I was like, out of all the countries I could have migrated to, it's here that I picked. Find that. I'm like, the European Union just approved like a $85 billion stimulus package. Some really large number.
Wow.
Billions for a stimulus package. And
that's
I'm like,
wild. I really could have been anywhere.
We're still fighting about $1,200.
Trump just started wearing a mask. So I mean, baby steps.
I cannot, I literally think to I'm like, mommy, you didn't.
I asked you all this time to marry me, and now you could have been Canadian citizen.
I could have.
Little
girl,
did you know.
I'm asking I don't know, man. This place it's kind of sketchy. It's kind of real ghetto over here.
Yeah, Canada has its own issues, actually. It's just like not as blatant. I remember when I first moved to Vancouver, that was probably one of the biggest things for me. I was just like, I think you're racist. I don't know if you're racist, but I think you are. It's the worst thing. It's actually so hard. When I moved to Vancouver, I did not understand how to navigate. Because in Oklahoma, remember when Obama got elected, like I knew who the racists were. They were saying shit at us. So we know, you know who to avoid. But in Vancouver, I was like, I mean, you could be. But I don't know.
You're kind of like how LA is. It's like, are you racist?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. I know. All right. Yes. It takes so long. I was so angry for so long here, so I can imagine.
Like you don't know which type of role you're going to like.
Okay. What?
I don't know.
All right. Bars. Okay. So tell my fans, how do we know each other?
Guys, this is like a story how we met, basically.
Okay, tell us how we met.
I had just moved to America. I was in college, and I was in school, and I was lonely AF. I tell you that, it was a hard time. I think for like a month, I was living on campus, and I had met like nobody except from like one creepy guy.
Yeah, we're not calling names out here.
We're not calling names. But I remember like he then like linked me up. He was like, oh, I know someone, a girl that like lives here and stuff that you might like. And I think I had seen you once, like those long legs. I mean, she always had long legs. She was always moisturized.
Yes.
This had her legs always like glistening. I mean, you just want to like stroke the leg. Let me just.
Yeah.
Let me see what her leg feels like. And then I think we had met in passing. I'm not sure if he ever made the intro or if we just kind of like bumped into each other. And then I was like, oh, I know you, and I've heard of you and stuff. And it was like literally love at first sight. I mean, like when you say
the Zoom.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We didn't know. Anyone had told me like this is where we would be years from now, I wouldn't have known. And we were friends, and then next thing you know, I didn't have a dorm roommate, and then we just started camping out in my room for like our freshman year, and we then ended up like living together after that. I never forgave your parents for moving into Canada. I honestly, I just want you to know that I still remember.
Tell them how you feel. Say it with your chest. You're still mad.
I still remember how you looked out on the name of A Better Place to Live. I see where you're going with this.
You should have come along.
I should have come along. But I feel like that was kind of how we met in my eyes. And it was just like a friend. It just literally was so organic, and you were so always like willing. I remember I just didn't know anyone, you know, in a foreign place, in this like Oklahoma from Nigeria.
Right. That's the real question. Who goes to Oklahoma?
Who goes, you know, I hear that all the time. And I was just like, yeah, this place is like you just basically came in and just made like everything better. And like, you know, then we had our little web of women.
Yes, yeah, we became a crew. But so your initial thoughts of me were like, yeah, she's dope. But do you remember what your mom said when you told her about me, that you met someone called Yoyo?
I can't, probably something outlandish. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah.
Please remind me.
She said, I don't know exactly what it was, but she was like, your friend's name is Yoyo. Don't be friends with her. Don't be friends with her.
That kind of name, that's bad gang name.
Exactly. She's like, that's someone that's going to get you in trouble. That's a bad influence. I'm like, off of the name.
She's still that way too. I'm like, what?
I was like, my name means love for anybody who doesn't know in my language.
Yo, like the toy.
Yeah, exactly. She just thought you were going to get in trouble hanging out
Nothing but bad news.
Yeah. And then she saw the great influence I had on your life and was like, that's my girl.
Now she just loves, how is Yoyo doing?
Yeah.
She's still not married like you. Both of you are not married? Okay.
She's counting down to my wedding. She's been ready. Yeah.
She's like, okay, but she's still not married like you. Oh, okay. God, I'm praying about this. I'm like,
yeah, she can continue to keep me in her prayers wherever she wants. She can continue keep it up.
I'm like, there are children dying. Put your energy.
Right, big fact. There's children dying. Like, we'll be okay if I don't get married.
Okay.
Yeah, and then she also used to, because I loved, like, she heard once that I love eating groundnuts and Gary, and literally every time she came back, that's all I ate, because she would just send so much over for me. So she really used to look out for me.
It was very, I never understood it. And you only ate Gary like 80% of the time.
Probably 98% of the time, and then 2%
I was
of the time.
I didn't want to like put you out there like that, but really it was a really unhealthy habit.
It was a very unhealthy diet. I used to just go, like, yeah, it was the weirdest thing. But hey, free food, I took it. I was like, yep, that's what I'm gonna eat all the time. Yeah. What was it like living together as roommates with me?
It was the best time. The only other person that like I had just as much fun with was Buki Trebo when I
right.
But like apart from that, I'm sorry to any other roommate that's listening to this. Nah, y'all, it's soulmate. We're soulmates. But it was the best time. Like we honestly had great communication. We all kind of went into our business to a certain degree, but we're still there for each other. You're extremely clean, so and nobody had to. We actually never shared a bathroom, so
no.
I think that also helps a lot when you're living with your friend. But cooking, it was just literally like it didn't feel like I had a roommate. It's just like, oh, I'm living with my best friend. It didn't feel like oh, I'm living with my best friend. Is how it felt. And I always think about those times. I was playing that Carrie Hilson song with Kanye West.
Sometimes love comes. Yes.
Oh my God.
Oh, there's too many embarrassing videos.
Too many embarrassing moments that we did a lot, or our walks from Sonic. Remember when we would walk past the thing, like walk the noise entire.
We walked everywhere.
And because of you, because I still like, you're like, oh, let's go for a walk. Let's walk. Let's just walk to Traditional West. Yeah. Let's just walk. And then we just walked and walked and walked. Or at the time I lost my laptop. And I think you had
Yes, I found it at the bus stop. Yes, I remember.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah.
It was literally the best time. It was like one of the peaks I had in Oklahoma for sure. One of my big peaks in Oklahoma.
Yeah. Okay, so what's a funny memory then of our days at OU?
I don't know if you want me to say this on here. I don't think.
Oh Lord. Is it PG?
Let's just not go there. Let's just.
Okay, think about the second funniest moment.
Because there's like so many. Oh my God. Yo. Okay. I don't know if we really want to go there. Can you edit this thing?
I can edit it if it's really embarrassing.
It's more embarrassing for me.
Oh, for you. Oh. I think we're going. Okay, go ahead. That's cool. Do you?
Everyone who's going to learn this is going to make me so sick. You know know I'm going, the birthday thing.
I know where you're going. I know where you're going. Okay, tell the story. Set the scene.
I just want to let you know that with how friendship that we have, that's when I knew that this was my sister for real. So I remember I was about to turn 18 or something like that, and I had told you that I never had a surprise birthday party in my 18 years of life, and I would really like one. Please plan a whole surprise birthday party for me.
Yes.
With my permission.
We planned it together.
We planned it together?
Don't you remember? Because you were like, okay, so let's plan a surprise party. And what was it? I didn't have enough money to plan it by myself. So I'm like, yeah, you're going to have to like chip into the surprise party. I made a whole Facebook event, everything. I pretended to surprise you.
People thought that they were surprising me.
Oh, it was amazing.
That, oops, they, like, okay, almost like slipped up or whatever. Yeah. And this did he know that I was
you were fully involved. Like the cake that we did, you did everything too. Like we planned this party together.
And this is the first time we've ever discussed this.
We've never told anybody this, so insider information.
Friends in college. I don't think Melanie.
Nobody knows.
Nobody
knows.
Nobody knew.
That was fun because you acted so surprised. It was fantastic. Nobody will ever know.
I did the whole walk back thing.
You did the walk back. You're like, That was cool. That was cool.
I deserve some accolades. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that was a good memory. I totally forgot about that. Yeah, we planned your surprise party together. So since then, have you had an actual surprise party?
I've actually never had a surprise party since
then.
Oh,
that's so sad.
Surprise. I know. Watch my dude will hear this and be like,
Exactly. Hint.
Hint.
Yeah, she's trying to get a surprise party.
I know, right? I know. I've never had a surprise party, man. I've never had a surprise party. But then I'm not such a birthday person anymore.
What? You used to make such a big deal about your birthday. What changed?
People, like birthday lists, guys. Like I would literally like email them like, this is what I want. Don't even guess. Don't try to guess. Follow the list.
Exactly.
Now I just like, if you put me in the desert, I'm okay.
Yeah.
Music and some food, and I'll be fine.
the good things in life, man. The good things in life.
That's the funniest. That was a good one. Yes.
That was a good one. I totally forgot about that. Yes, but that was a good one. Yeah, that was a good one. Like we did a whole. Yeah, that was a good one. It was fun. Yeah. So we've been friends for. We've been friends for almost 12 years. I met you at the beginning of 2009. So probably about 11 years or so. And most of our friendship has been long distance. We only really lived in Oklahoma together for a year and a half, or maybe almost 2 years. Yeah, almost 2 years. So how would you describe our friendship now?
The word that comes to my head is like blossoming, because with distance and like with change, because we both definitely grown and we both changed from who we were when we first met. But as we blossom, we still blossom around each other. We still like are very much involved in our lives. There's still no major event that happens in each of our lives that the other person will know about.
Yeah.
Regardless, we don't have the type of friendship that we have to talk like every day. But like before a lot of people think like before you might know something about me, Yoyo probably knows about it. And then we've been there for like the darkest times too. I think that whenever I pick up the phone, she already knows that she has to pick up the phone because I'm not a good phone. I don't have the best phone habits. So and you don't make me feel bad for it too. I gotta remember, one of the few who's okay if I respond in like 3 business days.
Yeah,
but
3 to 16 business days. Let's be real.
I'm trying. But at the same time, it's like as soon as I call, like I just know that I don't think I've ever called you. You've never picked up the phone.
Yeah.
And how beautiful our friendship is too. I don't even. It's like a sisterhood, honestly. Like in my head, you're my sister. Like literally, like there are a lot of things I don't think that I would have been able to, go through without like you being there. There are a lot of mistakes that I made that we were like, don't do that too, but I still did it, and you were still there. And you're still there along the way, even through it and all the mess. So yeah, I think it's a blossoming sisterhood is how I would describe it.
Yeah, I agree. And like there are times when I look back on our friendship and I was like, I don't think I would change anything, because you've same thing, like you said, ups and downs. We've been there for each other, but we've also never taken anything personally when it's like, okay, right now I'm gonna need a me moment. And like that, it hasn't ever felt like a selfish me moment. It's just been a like, lots going on. I still love you from a distance. We're still doing all of that. Yeah.
It never has. It's always been like consistently filled with love.
Yes. Oh, that's awesome. Is there anything you would do differently in our friendship?
Oh, move to Canada. I should have gone. I should have gone. I should have gone.
Yeah. It's never too late.
Calm down.
I'm still trying to get everybody over. It's never too late.
I know. Okay, ambassador of Canada.
Exactly. I am a true ambassador.
I moved to Canada. You know, that was my only like. Living together was so fun. Like we lived together up until you left.
Yeah.
So I don't think I could have changed anything. I think that that's it.
Yeah. I agree. So since I moved to Canada, you were in Oklahoma for a little bit longer, and then you moved to LA. And I'm currently, as you know, in the middle of a move. I'm going to Toronto. So let's talk about moving to new cities and all of that. My move to Toronto is going to be the first time I've moved without it being for my dad's job or because my parents are like, yeah, you're moving to Canada. This is like my own choice. So I kind of want to get some tips and tricks from you on the move. But what made you even decide to move from Oklahoma to LA, like smaller city to like bigger city?
Okay, I'm about to get like real pompous for a second, and then I'll like humble myself.
Okay, start up high, girl.
I'm usually a humble person, for everyone listening. But Oklahoma was just too small for me. It was absolutely too small for me. It was just, and I had just also come out of a really toxic relationship. I mean, very toxic situation. And after like a year or so of trying to heal in Oklahoma, I just realized like I needed to leave to just completely heal and completely blossom into the type of woman that I was trying to be. And in order for that blossom to, flourishing and blossoming to happen, you can't really like plant in the same muddy soil is what I'm trying to say. You have to get like fresh soil. You have to repot the plant, and I needed to repot myself basically.
Right.
And I'm also very spiritual. So when I was moving, I actually had either LA or Austin down. And I had prayed for 7 days and prayed and fasted for God. And I prayed and fasted. And every morning when I woke up, I would get notifications for jobs in LA only.
Interesting.
During that whole time for 7 days, every morning I wake up and I would be getting notifications to LA. And the seventh day I was like, God, like, okay, I know I have to move. I wasn't really sure where I would be going, but I knew that I had to trust God where I was going. And the seventh day, and I was like, okay, God, where are you, I see the signs, I'm seeing what you're saying, but like, just, let it just know, like, just slap me.
Yeah.
I just wanted to like, just know, be 100%. I didn't want to have any doubts. And that day, when I went to work, I was working behind the counter at that point in time for Dior. And some guy that always passes there apparently stopped me. Old looking black dude, kind of like he's now like a grandpa for me. He stopped and he's like, my spirit told me I needed to talk to you for a second. I was like, oh Lord, please.
Oh no.
And he was like, no. But every day I listen to my spirit, and my spirit usually leads me to someone, and I have a message for you. I'm like, okay, what is it? And he's like, God told me to tell you that the thing that you're thinking of doing, the direction you're thinking of going, or the move you're trying to make, that you have to do it now.
Whoa.
He's like, this is the time, or else you will not have the opportunity to do it again. I literally like fell to the floor. Like I just kind of like,
wow.
Yeah. Like it was like really strong message from God. And I'm like, what? And he was like, yes, God told me to tell you that. And this man didn't know me from anywhere. He'd never seen me before. He didn't know anything about my life. No one really knew I was trying to move, even when I was praying at that point. Very few people. I think maybe one or two people thought I was moving.
Yeah.
My mom and I think my brother were aware that I was trying to move. So when that happened, I was like, okay, God, cool. I started making, asking my job to transfer into LA, doing all the things, basically putting the building blocks into moving. And then every time something bad would happen, I remember like I was trying to move. There was a weekend where somebody stole like $3,000 from me. I had it just for like a second in my bag, and I was stopped. Actually, no, I was helping a friend on her shoot really quickly. I was supposed to deal with that money later. It was supposed to be added to my moving fund, and literally as I was about to, I won't go back. I checked my purse. It's not there anymore.
Wow.
But when things like that will happen or something would go wrong on my move, I would see this man again. His name was Charlie.
Yo.
Every single time.
That's creepy.
Every single time something had gone wrong with my move. Something had just knocked me off my rocker, and I started like, oh, I'm supposed to move. Like, how am I supposed to move without money?
Yeah.
Charlie would just pop up. He was like, my spirit told me to come and encourage you.
Damn.
I know, and I'm like, okay, God, like, all right. Every single time. Another time, the housing, I flew to LA to look at, my apartment that I was supposed to have then, and it just was just a mess. I wasn't prepared for the housing market here, and I remember coming back just so devastated because I'm like, I don't have where to live. I have to leave soon. I've already canceled my lease and everything, and I saw Charlie again.
Wow.
Like my spirit told me to come again and just check on you.
That's crazy.
So,
that is crazy.
It is crazy. And my moving story is so crazy. Like, honestly, we'll be here for a while if I really get into like all the gritty stuff. But I remember moving the week before I moved. My job told me, that they had moved me to San Diego instead of LA. And I was like, no, I can't go to San Diego. I have to go to LA.
Right.
They're like, well, we don't have a job for you in LA. We have a job for you in San Diego. And I said, okay, I'm not taking the job in San Diego.
So bold.
Because I wasn't about to mess with God. So he didn't say San Diego, he said LA. So I said, I can't take this job in San Diego, that I'm going to go to LA, and if something opens up, just let me know. So the day before I moved to LA, one of she was my good friend. I was supposed to live with her for like 2 weeks and stuff, and we were supposed to get an Airbnb together and stuff, because she was also here, freshly new and trying to figure it out. And the day before, I called her. I was like, hey, the Airbnb guy is asking for, your half of the money.
Yeah.
Pay it. And then she then says, can you front me the money? And I always listen to my spirit, like most of the time. So my spirit like rang a bell in my heart, like, don't do that. So I was like, why didn't you tell me? So I didn't do it. So she was living with her uncle. Then I asked them, like, okay, let's just live with your uncle for 2 weeks, and then we'll figure it out. Maybe when a week tops, when I get there, we'll just kind of figure it out.
Yeah.
Because I had a whole truck of furniture for us to use as well. Let's just figure it out. So she then calls me. She's like, yeah, you can't stay with me and my uncle.
Why?
I never asked. I remember.
Oh, wow.
I think, so now that I think about it, I think he probably was never her uncle, and she just was calling him her uncle.
Oh, one of those.
Yeah, one of those.
Gotcha.
It would make kind of,
yeah.
Stuff. She probably wasn't honest about her living situation. Maybe she wasn't just living where, the way she made it seem wasn't what it was. So, because in my head, I was just hurt, like, girl,
yeah,
I'm about to leave here in a couple of hours, and you tell me this now. And she just was like, kind of like, figure it out on your own. I didn't know anyone in LA. This was like my move, just my move I was doing on my own.
Yeah.
No one. So I remember there was no furniture in my house that day. I just laid on the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just laid on the floor, and then I just kind of like, I said, God, make a way, and I just went to sleep on the floor. And I woke up the next day, and my mom called me out of nowhere. It's like, how's it going? What are you doing? This and that. And I'm like, girl, I don't know, man. This is the situation. Like, I'm just trying to figure it out. And she's like, okay, what are the Airbnbs looking like? I'm like, Airbnb in a month. Like, it's kind of steep, because in that situation, I would need like a while to figure my situation out. And she's like, just look, let me know what you find. I found somewhere like an hour out of LA for about $1,200 for a month. And it's just like, if you know LA, $100 is nothing. It's like a small corner of an office.
Yeah.
It was cozy, you know. So I found it and I told her, and she sent me the money that day. Said, get the Airbnb. Go, I love you.
Oh, that's so nice.
African parents, when they tell you that, as much as they would be on you, they really still like come through for you.
Yeah.
It is such a blessing to have them. You know, shout out to all of they really, really come through for you. And she just said, go. Gave me that money. Said go. She didn't even blink twice. She said go. And that put me up in LA for a month, trying to figure it out. No job. You know, I really was doubting myself. I'm like, I remember the first day I had driven from Oklahoma to LA, which was over like 20 hours. I just stopped in Arizona for a night. And then when I got to LA, I had a full-blown anxiety attack in front of Airbnb. I couldn't even, I just literally like had to sit and I couldn't breathe. And I was just like, what have you done? You know, I was freaking out. I had a whole moment. One of my friends said he had come with me, so he was able to just like calm. He's like, it's okay. Like I really full on like 30-minute like anxiety attack and panic mode because it dawned on me like this is
real.
It's real, and this is the thing they're having. Like, what if? But you know, I came. That's okay. And God really has been with me every step of the way. I promise you, how I even found the apartment I'm in right now. I was also, you know, you're sad when you first move to somewhere that you don't know. You feel very saddening, you know, not to be out of your comfort zone. I mean, it's just like we're potting a plant. You know, you don't know if it will survive or if it will like the pot that you put it in. So I was very uneasy. And I remember the day I was also saving gas at the time because I didn't want to be driving around LA too much. It's expensive. I'm saving my money. I don't have a job. I'm not sure. Everything was just up in the air.
Yeah.
And my mom had called me out the blue this one afternoon. She's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm just laying down, you know, I'm job searching or whatever. And she's like, this is why you came to LA. Go and do what there's nothing to do. It starts today.
Yeah. That's such a thing your mom would say. Like, what are you guys doing? Go have fun. Yeah.
Be a baby girl for life. A baby girl for life.
Yes.
Now she's like, Ezinne, stand up, go out, you know, like do something. And I then said, okay, like I was like, I don't want to waste gas. She's like, waste gas for what? Go, like stop thinking about these things, you know, go. And I went to this African party, and I was just chilling by myself. I'm an extrovert to a certain degree, but I'm also an introvert. So it's not uncommon to see me at a party just like by herself.
By yourself, yeah.
Like I'm okay by myself. So I was chilling by myself outside, and I'm just sitting down. And then this one girl was also chilling by herself outside, and we just kind of looked at each other, and we were just like, you know, you're cool. Oh, you're cool. And then it turned out that she was actually looking for a roommate.
Oh, wow.
The price range. And she didn't ask me that first time. So we got to know each other and we exchanged contacts, and we found out that we had like mutual friends too. Funny enough. She was from the Ivory Coast. So then I think the week later I went somewhere again by myself that my mom had pushed me to go to. And I see her again, and she's there too by herself again.
Wow.
And it's a big club at this point, like it's loud and you know, we're dancing or partying together, and she's like, so do you want to move in with me? I imagine all this music like in the air, like or something. She's like, you know, do you want to live with me? I'm like, hey. I'm like, girl, you know, I'm looking for a place. She's like, yeah, you told me, you know, your Airbnb it. I'm like, yeah. She's like, okay, what's your range? I'm like, you know, like I don't want to do it for $1,000. Okay, you can pay $750.
That's the perfect roommate advice right there. Find your roommate in a club.
In this dark room with like loud. I'm like, wait, are you sure? She's like, yeah, girl, come see it tomorrow. I got you. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, do you live in the ghetto?
Where do you live? Let's start there.
I don't want to be in the ghetto though. Like, do you live in the ghetto? She's like, oh no, girl, no, it's Inglewood. It's cool.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
that was how I found my apartment. And the next day I came, beautiful. I loved it. It was like this small, it had personality. Like I was just like, oh, I'll live here. And I'm not if I had options anyway. So
Exactly. You're like, well,
this is what I'm gonna be.
this is what it's gonna be. Yeah. Wow, what a huge, like, just like so much. I don't think I knew about the fasting and praying before you came,
I don't
like,
really tell people that.
Yeah.
Ask, and it's crazy. And I should tell more people that, because I think it's great people to just do it.
Yes, to just do the thing. And like also just the belief that you have, you know, God looking after you. You have, you know, just seeing how like God and all these people also like come through for you. And sometimes it's just that first step of like just do it. Just make that move like that, you know.
I know. I don't share my spirituality with people, just in general. Even my mom. The first time I told her, it was like a year after I told her that story, and she was like, "Eh,
wow,
fasting. You want to talk?" And I said, "Yeah, I never told you." Like, that's crazy. Like, isn't it this? And I was like, "Yeah, I never did." Yeah.
I consider, like, when I think about my faith, I think about it that way too. It's just like sometimes it's just the actions. Eventually people will ask you about things, and like everybody has relevance. Like there are people who are going to be out here telling you everything about their faith, and like, you know, it speaks to somebody. And then some of us is just like, let's just live it and see where it takes us, and like just live in that faith. So you mentioned not knowing really anyone when you got there, but I remember I came to see you last year, 2 years ago. When did I come? For my 2-hour layover. It was last year.
That. Oh, that was the best time. Last year. Yeah, last year you came.
And like I came and you had just like this whole community of people, and just like people who just so loved you. I was like, I left so happy because I'm like, she's good. She's so loved. How did you build that community?
I personally believe, and this is why I know you'd be good wherever you go to, because I think the energy that you give, like, truly is what you attract. I think if you have I believe that you have the capacity to control how your life moves to a certain extent. You know, there's certain extent, but to a certain extent, like your emotions and how you see life, your outlook on life, you can control. And I try to usually see like a positive, no matter what. To me, there's always a silver lining. Even in the darkest times, there's always a silver lining. If the silver lining is this time too shall pass, I'm okay with that silver lining. But there's always a silver lining for me. And I believe that is how I've been able to attract a really good community of people, because everyone I know, people ask me like, who is your female icon? I say all my female friends, because all of you are just amazing and doing amazing things. So I believe that's how it happened. It was like a ricochet effect. You know, you meet one good person and they know, oh, you should meet another good person, just like how we met. And then, and now it's just really a community. We usually, before the pandemic, we all brunch which is what you came to. It was like the annual brunch. I do a brunch in my house every 3 months, cook a bunch of food and just have everyone come over.
I ate good.
Okay, we ate good. You come, you eat. Go on the plane and you pass out.
Exactly. I ate good.
It's a good time. It's a fun time. Our neighbors have even gotten into it too. So they opened their apartment like you saw.
Yeah.
We all did a community brunch. And I believe that's really what it is. I think that when you're a good person, good people, you too, you will find your set of people. So that's how.
Yeah, that's real. And like, you know, just sometimes people think that like just being an extrovert is the way to find people, but a lot of times, like even just like what you're talking about, it was just the one-on-one, the really quick, like chipping in here, chipping in there, and that's kind of how you build community. You go out and find community.
Exactly.
The word build is an action word. You have to also do it.
You know, you have to be. I know, just not my flavor, or just I wasn't their flavor either, and there was loss along the way. But the blessings definitely outweigh the loss, for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so speaking of finding community, you also found love.
We doing this on here. You are so corny.
How did y'all find each other? I really like your man. He's great. How did you find him?
I just want to, okay, well, before we get that, I just want you, I haven't met Will, but I already like him already. So vice versa. Okay. I don't know. How do we meet? Okay, so.
Okay.
During my time of not having a job, I've always been into fitness, and it's like therapy for me. So I applied to be a personal trainer at a gym. In Oklahoma, you don't really need your trainer's license. You just need to have insurance. But in LA, you need to have all your things intact.
That makes sense.
Yep, you know, like they need you to have all your stuff intact. So I was getting it ready and prepping and everything. And I came into the gym. I was on a date, actually. I was on a date that evening with a guy that flew in from Boston to spend some time with me.
Okay.
And one of my friends who was a trainer as well hit me up. He's like, hey, they're looking for a trainer. It's one more spot. Like, you should definitely come. You know, people are coming to interview. Just come right now. And I'm like, I'm on a date. And the guy that I was on a date with was like, I'll take you. Don't worry. Because he also knew that I was job searching. And he knew that I love training people. I love physical fitness. I love that stuff. So he's like, this is perfect for you. Like, you know, and it's part-time. So, you know, you can still do your thing and just, you know, just go. Yeah. I was already all dolled up, and I get to the gym, and I'm like, oh yeah, I can see Ambrose, and like he comes out the corner, I was already like, oh, okay.
The slow motion walk.
And I'm like this. Oh, I'm like, okay. I'm like, and he used to be so preppy. Like now he's like way more chilled. I think his parents had influenced him because casual was like a polo button-up shirt with like slacks. Now he like wears like whatever, like shirts. Yeah. And jeans. He never used to own them. He had like one pair of jeans when I met him.
Oh wow.
I know. So he walks around, I'm like, oh, he's cute. Like I was already in my head, I was like, I might dip this apple. I'm single, what's up?
Yeah, forget this date on the side.
I was like, this is the date. Like real life.
This is my bride.
Exactly. So my date is waiting in the car, and my boyfriend, my partner right now, he's like interviewing me, and the interview takes like an hour for a personal trainer position.
Wow.
Exactly. I'm like, what in the heck is going? Like, why is? Because he's asking me all these questions, and you know, asking me all these questions, giving me a tour of the gym. I just thought maybe like he was being thorough. In my head, I'm thinking, thorough. Like it's not like, you know, this is crazy. Only for me to find out now that, you know, that I was cute too. Okay. Hey. He was just like. Just taking his time, you know. So I got the job, obviously.
Of course. You know, because you're a great personal trainer.
I'm a great trainer, okay? Off my skill and merit.
Off of that.
Got the job, started working, and then he had also just moved to LA, you know, around that time too. So we were also very careful not to be dependent on one another, because you don't want to like the person you meet into a relationship. I was very much aware that was going to be unhealthy if I did that. I needed to not latch into the first person. So I was still like dating, you know, like he was my friend, and we would just like hang out. Like we go watch Family Guy. One time we watched Family Guy for a whole weekend. Nothing happened a whole weekend. Wow. Before, like literally, he came over. My roommate at that time, she had gone home for like 2 months. So I was by myself for the most part, and came over. We were watching Family Guy. We watched Family Guy for a whole weekend. Wow. We just basically were couch potatoes. You know, he chilled on the couch. I slept in the room. Nothing. I actually thought he was gay after that weekend because I wasn't used
because who would look at all of this and not try?
I was wearing booty shorts. Like I'm thinking like, oh, maybe if I wear a booty short. Like maybe the booty shots were making shake, buddy. Right. Booty shots making shake nothing.
Nothing, because he's a respectful human.
This man did not do nothing. Like I was like, he had to be gay. And like in my life, I had never come across a man that would spend this much time and not like do anything physical, like or try or like corner me.
Interesting. You know? Yeah.
So after that weekend, I actually like calmed down because in my head I'm like, oh, he has to be gay, you know. What the right? He has to be gay. Forgive me, Lord. Now, forgive me for being so ignorant because now I teach my sister that no, this is actually how it's supposed to be.
Yes. Yes.
But, then we always get tacos together, and then one weekend, my friend Boale, you know Boale?
Yes. Yeah.
Boale came to visit, and I was telling him about my dude, my partner. And he said, yeah, I don't think he's gay. I think he's just respectful. And he's just waiting for the right time to approach you about that issue. I said, no, there's no way. He's like, no, he's not gay. He's definitely gay. And he said that's just what dudes do, you know, that he's like, you're just used to one type of
trash.
Yeah, it's literally trash. You're used to trash. You're used to the bottom of the litter, and this is just a prime, really good guy. So I was like, okay, all right. So then like, maybe you should think, what do you want from him? And I had never thought about that as an option that women had. I always thought we would wait till men would approach us with their petition and kind of just agree, if we just manage it, whether we liked it or not. If a man generally, you should feel lucky enough to just agree. So he then asked me, what do you want from him? Like, do you just want to just have fun, or do you want something serious? Yeah. So, at first, initially, before we became really good friends, I would have said just have fun. But because I was so wary of getting into a relationship so soon, and I tell Bali all these things that I liked about him, and he's like, I think, it sounds like you want something serious. You just are afraid, of it going south. And it goes south. Like, what else have you lost? He sounds like a good person. Is respectful. Like,
right.
Just do it. If that's what he said, whether you want to have fun or not have fun, just be intentional and just know what you want. And like the next week, I basically asked him, I was like, yo, what's good?
Yeah. Shoot your shot. Like, what's going on?
What's good? Like, we having tacos again, and what's good? Like, are you into it or not?
Yeah.
And then he was like, girl, I spent all this time with you. What did you think? What's going on?
Right.
Oh, you never like done anything physical. Like, you never. He's like, yeah, because I just like we're getting to know each other.
Yeah, and also consent.
He's like, that's not my lane right now. Like,
I'm
playing it how you want to play it. And I was like, oh, in that case, come on over, honey. So after that, we just became inseparable, and over 2 years now, we live with each other, and we've never raised our voice. It's literally the best type of love. We've never raised our voice with each other. We don't even from what I thought a relationship was supposed to be. He has restructured everything, and not just for me, for my sister as well. She also lives with us part-time, and she's like, I will never let a man treat me less than how he treats you. Never.
It's so important.
It's so important for her to see that, it's like, I will never settle for anything less than this, because this is so beautiful. My mom loves him. For an African mother,
living in sin. Yeah.
Living with sin. They don't even ask me about, like, they be like, oh, you pregnant yet? Like,
wow, right? Love.
They ask me about that, but like lately she's been asking me more, like, when I'm like, oh, I have good news. She's like, are you pregnant? I'm like, Beyonce, she's pregnant, but I'm not pregnant.
Yeah, exactly.
And my uncle too, from Africa, dad, because he's like the closest thing I have to a dad. For an African dad to like accept, my uncle loves him. They all love him. They can't wait for him to come back from Nigeria. After come back, my mom might do like a surprise wedding.
What? Like, I won't even put it past her.
I can't put it past her. I think that we'll just show up and she's like, I don't know what you thought you were coming for. But
yeah.
I start acting while doing your traditional. Like, yo,
just show up.
Like, actually, is upstairs. I sent Yoyo a message. I don't know if you got it, but I just know that there's a wedding going on. I truly believe that the day he comes to Nigeria is the time that she will have, if we haven't done it by then, she will come with her own wedding, and she will bamboozle us into a wedding. Basically.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Yeah. I really like him.
Literally. And his family is beautiful too. He has an amazing brother, amazing mom. She texts me like almost every week talking about, thank you so much for just being an amazing person. I love you. You're so sweet.
Yeah.
He just like loves who I am outside of him, and I appreciate that. She's a really beautiful woman, and his dad is amazing too. His dad is very much like him. So it's very good. Yeah.
It's actually interesting because like the point you just made about like getting to know you outside of him, like so many people like don't do that. They're just like, well, that's this person's girlfriend and like that's what she is, but just the intention to get to know you, just the the person you are, and it's reflective, like I think just even in the relationship that at least I've seen it, the short little bit, but whenever you talk about him, and just so you glow because he sees you.
Thank you.
And yes, this is probably, yeah, don't fuck it up.
Yeah, I'm like, because I believe that and I believe that's also what works for like you and Will. We're doing life together, but we're also doing it without interfering with one's journey.
Yeah.
My journey is my journey. His journey is his journey.
Yeah.
We're partners in this, but I will never interfere with wherever he's going with his life.
Yeah.
Neither will interfere where I'm going with my life. We're never going to a block for the other person's progress. So
yeah, elevate each other. That's really it. Yeah. Speaking of elevation and all of that, so if anybody's watching this on YouTube, you can see my skin is glowing, and that's because I'm using Ezinne's SknMuse body butter. I said earlier today that she was Beyonce's inspiration for Black Parade. If you don't believe me, go check it out. She's featured on Black Parade. Yeah, so tell us about SknMuse. How did it get started?
So I've always worked in the beauty industry. I've always worked in skincare. Worked from my first job was at Lancome, and I just worked my way up. I became a business manager. Dior poached me from Lancome. I used to teach the girls behind the counter how to do makeup and stuff like that. Why am I having like this like?
Drink some water.
Let me drink some water.
Clear your throat.
I know. I'm like, wait, I'm going to start that all over again. Okay, water. So I'd always worked in the beauty industry, always. My first job was at Lancome. From Lancome, I became a freelancer for them, teaching people how to do makeup and skincare. And then Dior poached me from them to become a freelancer. And then from there, I then became a business manager and then just kind of worked my way through. I just always enjoyed it. I've always loved it. I really did. I never thought I would like that job so much. And even when I had like, other jobs, like at one time I worked at a magazine, one time I worked, at an agency or something. I still always kept that job as a side hustle. I would either freelance was easy. So I kind of schedule my life around it. If I'm out of town, I could still work from wherever. So I loved it so much. But I noticed that when Black women would come by the counters, the girls would scatter.
Wow.
And not because like they were racist or anything, but because they just were ill-equipped. A lot of them, I was probably the first person to teach them how to do makeup on darker skins. So the other girls would like kind of like, oh, you do it yourself. I was on their Lanco's national freelance team, and I was the only Black girl.
It's such a huge brand.
Yeah.
How is that possible?
Yeah, and just to be very specific, on the Western region. So other regions are different. But on the Western region, on their national team, I was the only Black girl. Full-time freelancer. They had like one that was like a backup if I wasn't available, but for the most part, it was
a backup. That's wild. Understudy.
Literally, it made I was the only Black girl, and it was just always so the other girls would scatter because they just knew that they couldn't do for them what the customer expected, so they were afraid because they weren't really trained. And I noticed it. I picked it up, or they'll always do that one designated girl that to handle Black customers at the counter. And I thought that was so weird and odd. And like, so what happens if the girl is not here?
Yeah.
Does that mean that you are too scared to handle this, or you're too equipped to handle this for your customer? What exactly does that mean? Yeah. And I didn't know at all. And then on the flip side, my grandma was a holistic healer before she died. Beautiful woman. So I learned a lot from her as well. Like all this stuff, all these natural remedies. She was definitely, and my mom too. She was. They were definitely very much. I remember when I had psoriasis the first time, my mom and my grandma like cooked up a concoction for me, and I literally it's the only thing that has ever worked for me. And I thought to myself, like, when I moved to LA, when I got my job back from Dior like months later when I was here. So while I got the job back, I think I only spent like 2 months with them, and I quit December 30th of 2018 or so, early 2018 or late 2017, one of the two. So I just quit because I had the urge, like, you can just kind of fly on your own and see how this is. So I quit. And then last year I started working in the entertainment industry, just, as a side, this is like just to get me through. And when I did that last year, I started testing out the market in June.
Yeah. So I remember when I came over, you had those samples.
I had those samples, yes.
Yeah.
So it's probably around like this time you came over, actually, when you think about it. Yeah. So I had the samples for people to try, and I was getting feedback and people were trying and stuff. So I started testing out the market. And then November is when we launched our first launch was November 2nd, and we had a pop-up shop that same day. And I remember carrying my 2 boxes of like product. Then we're only selling Buddy Butters, and I was just like, okay, I just got there, set up my little table. I didn't know nothing about nothing, because my first sale, she was like, do you have PayPal? And I was like, PayPal? I didn't have PayPal, but I was like, yeah, 1 second. And I started downloading the app and like,
that's hilarious.
Stalling. I know I had one of my friends with me, and I'm like, just stall her for a second. Let me just download the app, because me, I'm thinking Venmo, Cash App, Zen.
Cash,
like I can't work change, but like I didn't have PayPal, so I'm downloading the app, and she was my first sale. I remember her name, Lisa. And my first sale was at this women's conference, and we like almost sold out at the conference.
That's amazing.
We had our first day, we had a line, so it was literally like I couldn't believe it. I couldn't. And then since then, we've just been running ever since. So my vision is to elevate the experience by prioritizing Black women, like our beauty experience. I wanted, the gratification other people get from using beauty products, the branding, the highlighting of darker tones isn't something that you see in our industry. And I believe and I see that there is a need to give respect where respect is due, because Black women are the trendsetters of all things.
Absolutely.
And we are the gatekeepers of this industry.
Yeah.
And we should be treated like the gatekeepers of this industry. The fact that Sephora is just now giving us 15% shelf space, I'm just like, okay, that's not even a lot, but
yeah.
Okay, cool. But I really wanted, the same way that other races and specifically white women or get the gratification they get from coming to the Dior counters, I want us to walk into Bloomingdale's and see a counter that represents us with rich oils. Black women in luxury should be a thing,
Absolutely.
Always be a thing, We deserve to see that. We deserve to see women, our little girls deserve to see us living our best life in the most luxurious way.
Yeah.
And that is one of my biggest goals for this brand, is to be the utmost luxury that everyone can use for prioritizing the trendsetters.
Yes, absolutely. And like I do, whenever I put it on, like I feel like luxury. I feel like $1 million. I really do. And like that's not like no cap. Like I really feel good wearing it. And like you're always coming up with new things, innovative things. You do a lot of things with the communities too. Like again, like you don't really be like telling everybody what you're doing because humility or whatever, but you're so caring of the community. So a lot of what you do too, you give back, very purposeful in your business. But before we even talk about like how, like what, a lot of it was to elevate Black women, but you just talked about how they asked you about PayPal and you had to download it. And a lot of people have this impression that when you're starting a business, you have to go to business school. You have to do like all the accelerator programs. You have to like make sure you have a business degree, all of that. Did you do that? And how did you learn to get started in business and get so successful to where you are now? More success coming, but like it's not even been, it's just been 8 months.
It literally just been 8 months. Every time I think about it, no, wow. Like, wow. I would say just start. The key to starting a business is to start.
Big facts.
The key to starting a business is to just start. If you're wanting perfection, you're never going to start. If you're like, let me finish this course in business, you're not going to start, because after you finish that course in business, there'll be another goal that you feel that you have to do in order to start. There'll be another thing that you feel like you have to accomplish in order to start. And what that is really not you trying to get better. It's kind of fear handicapping you from really reaching your potential, because I have how risky is it for you to just go through the path untraveled, or is that the way they say it?
Yeah, the road less traveled.
The road less traveled, and
yeah.
it's the road less traveled when you're trying to see your dreams come true. It's like, what the caucasity of you to really sit and like believe in yourself, like
yes,
like I can do this, like that confidence it's something that a lot of people don't experience. So that was the key. I just started, and a lot of things that I know now that I didn't know then. Google.
Yeah, Google is your friend.
I Google, and even when I'm filling a grant application and there's a word that I'm not too sure what it means. Siri, what is
yeah.
it? Like I Google everything. I even down to my vendors. A lot of them I found just by Googling and and just getting in touch with them. But a lot of them were just like Google bottle package manufacturing company, click, search, I call, see what I like, go my spirit. But I did a lot of Googling. I did a lot of just betting on myself. When the brand that we were when we first started is very much different from the brand that we are now. And that's because as anybody on any project, any entrepreneur, I'm pretty sure with Musing with Yoyo, by the time you check 6 months later, you're going to look back and you're going to start cringing on like, whoo,
yeah, like who did that? Who let me hold a mic?
But that's the thing. The key to entrepreneurship is for you to look back 6 months from now and be like, "Ooh, I thought that was something, but that really wasn't." When you went from where you are now, you've seen your growth. So just start. Google. Another thing that I did do that helped me start, because before I did this program, it's called a Grid 110 program.
Yes, I've seen you post about that.
It's a business accelerator program. Before I got into the program, I was working in the business, and then as soon as I got into the program, they taught me how to work on the business, like think about longevity and stuff. And ever since I left, the program was like 3 months. It was free. Don't feel afraid to look for free. Look for your startup. I tell people, you're a startup. You don't have to act like you have $1 million. You are a startup.
Yeah.
So and all my vendors know I like a good deal. I be like, are you sure that's the best you can?
Yeah.
Those numbers again. Like I like to tell them, go back and crunch the numbers, see if it's something better for me. I don't care. I'm very much like, give me the best deal.
Yeah.
So I'm a startup. So when I started working on the business and they taught me everything I needed to do, it was a free service, but they gave me, I didn't feel the need to like, because there's some accelerators that you have to pay money to get into.
Quite a lot. Quite a lot.
But this one was free. If you're in LA, it's called Grid 110, free. They just look for founders. They look for potential they care about your business, but they care more about the person that they're bringing into the program. So it's like over 100 patients and like only 17 people get in. So wow. I got in, and that definitely helped me. They gave me resources, where I was lacking. They supported me there. Things that I didn't know before, how to pitch. They supported me there. When I was in the program, my first pitch in the program, and I won. So it was literally like they were so, they were very much. They gave me anything that I needed. They provided for me, and still today, even after the program, like I'm still very much involved. Like anything I need, I just let someone know, and if they can provide, they always usually come through for me. So, and then back to the financial part is, because especially for Black people, we are the poster children for bootstrapping.
Yeah.
If you're bootstrapping a business, be very honest, be very transparent.
And when you say bootstrapping a business, what do you mean?
Basically funding it by yourself.
Right.
Like
okay.
Grants or investments, like this is coming from your hard-earned money.
When
you're bootstrapping a business, be honest with people. Don't let nobody make you feel like you have to put on a front, because you have to also be honest with your finances and yourself. You can't keep flying to, I don't know, Greece if you're bootstrapping. you have to cut, you have to start making more financially conscious moves.
Yeah.
So that you invest in yourself. I'm at the point where now SknMuse runs itself, so I don't have to like dip into my personal fund, but I still actually save just in case, because you never know.
You never know.
So I still always put money aside just in case. So I still live, I still live like I have to pay the business, even though it's paying itself, because I, in my head, until I'm going to do this for 2 years, I already made that commitment that I'm going to, fund my business for 2 years. If grants come along, that's a blessing from God. They come, I've received grants, but I still save just in case. And I'm still on. If someone asks me something that's like, if something that's, outlandish for me to do right now, I'm like, check back in 2022.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, not right now.
Yeah.
So be very honest. Like, let people know. I remember my first investment was $300. I remember I opened a business account and as I was doing it, I'm just putting $300 for my money there, and just started building off of that and making other investments. But after, I think I only made I don't want to say the number because I'm not too sure the total. But compared to how much we spent, compared to how much it has grown, now I look at that investment, I'm like, that was nothing compared to what's happening now. That was just a fraction of the cost to build it. But just be honest, because everybody's doing,
That's true.
And I went to a financial advisor. They have them free. I don't know if you guys have Bank of America. Do you guys have Bank of America?
No, but we have banks. I won't say what bank should I say. We have banks. They have financial advisors. Yeah.
But a lot of banks give you free financial advisors.
That's very true.
A lot of people don't know this. A lot of free financial advisors. I went to financial advisor the beginning stage just for them to assess my account and assess my numbers and assess my goals. And she broke it down for me and I'm thankful for that.
That's really good. That's a really good tip. It's like you said, a lot of people forget that they have financial advisors and they either start Googling places that are really not probably legit, or they feel like they have to pay people for good financial advice. Absolutely pay if you feel like you have the need to do it. But there's also free resources. And even what you were talking about with just being honest with where you are. Everybody talks about you need to have, I've had that mentality because in business school you learn that you should have all this capital and get all these investors and then you start. But not everybody is the same. And sometimes it's just starting that little bit of following what it is that you want to do. So do you still work now? Are you only working for SknMuse, or are you working multiple jobs still?
So I actually went part-time with my full-time job. So now I work Mondays and Tuesdays for them, and then from Wednesday, Thursday, Friday I'm more full-time SknMuse, to be very honest. That job, I just kind of I do what I need to do to keep the job, but I work part-time there. I don't want to touch. I've put my end date. My end date there is December 15th.
Okay. So
that's my last day there, but that's about it. But yeah, it's hard though. People, I'm not going to make it seem like it's easy. It is very, 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 very hard. Extremely hard to pull that off. It's because you see yourself giving another person's dreams their attention.
Yeah.
And you know that you can give that same attention to your business, but then you have to, because you have to pay the bills and you have to fund the business. And so it's tiring, because if you want to give it the same attention, that means that after 5:00, you have to sit down and you have to do the work.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're tired. Sometimes it's been a mentally exhausting day, especially as a Black woman being in a corporate space. It's a lot from you when you come back home. But I tell people, when my friends are asking me, I'm like, because there are days where you just don't want to function, but I'm like, at least if you do one thing.
Yeah.
One thing from the list. Every day, my rule of thumb is every day I should at least do one thing from the list. I'm okay. Yeah.
Yeah. It gets you towards where you got to go. It's a little step, but it gets you there.
If you can give somebody all these hours, you can give yourself one thing from your list. That's it.
That's fair. That's fair. So what are you looking forward to the most? Whether it's with SknMuse, whether it's at life, whether it's at LA, maybe it's moving to Canada. What are you looking forward to the most in the next little bit?
Girl, it's a pandemic. I don't know.
I'm looking forward to being able to just go like back that ass up somewhere.
I'm just like, what's going on? And with SknMuse, funny enough, I also tell myself not to attach my identity too much to it. But they'll always be up and down. So I always tell myself, it's something I consistently like. When people ask me, who are you? People expect me to say, oh, I'm the founder of SknMuse. I just be like, oh, I'm Ezinne.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
and I have all these other things too, but I'm Ezinne. Yeah.
I'm Ezinne, and then, oh, okay. Oh, you want to hear about that? Oh, okay. Then I start talking. But I'm not, my self-identity doesn't rest in it at all. You know,
that's big.
I created that, just like our identity, God doesn't rest his identity, you know, in us. You know, this is something that I created.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be so absorbed by it that I let it affect me as a person. But what am I looking forward to the most? Honestly, I'm apartment searching right now. I'm looking forward to a bigger space.
Your space is actually fairly good. Like you never saw my place. Well, my place in Vancouver is pretty spacious because it's an older building, but like Vancouver apartments are cardboard. I remember I moved from Oklahoma and I got to my first room and I was like, so where's the rest of my apartment? Yeah.
People are living like this.
Yeah, this is how people live. It's savages. Okay.
Oh yeah, and then what else am I looking? I'm looking forward to the pandemic ending so I can see my mom.
Yeah.
Gone without seeing each other. This is the longest we have ever gone without seeing each other. So, and she's definitely going stir crazy lately. So.
Oh, I can imagine.
As soon as they lift the border up, I'm buying a ticket. I'm like, I'm going on the Expedia.
Yeah. Yeah.
Looking. So that's I'm looking forward to seeing my mom. For sure. Yes, that's it.
Okay, we'll take it. Well, here's to the pandemic being over, Laura, because I'm ready too. Because like, there's so many trips I have planned for 2020, and the pandemic. Yes, I'm saving money, but like I'm going nowhere. I should have been like 10 shades darker from the tans I've been getting, right?
And this was the one time I was like, oh, I'll come to Canada. I was supposed to come.
Yes. Caravana.
Yes, I was sis. I was like, let me get my wings ready.
Everything, yeah. There's always next year. I'll be settled, and then you can really come for real.
Exactly, yeah. And then I can renew my passport.
Exactly. There you go. Kill two birds, one stone. So I've been asking you a bunch of questions, and what I've been doing with everyone is I give you a chance to ask me one question and one question alone. Do you have any questions for me? This is my show, ma'am.
I was like, oh, my time. I was like,
one question.
One question and one question only. The timer is now. Okay. All right. Oh, I think this would be very interesting for me to learn about you now. It's a very light question. But what are the 3 things that you carry in your purse all the time? Like all the time.
Very easy. Lip balm, lotion, and my wallet. Cause like I'm not trying to get ID'd somewhere and not be able to, like my little purse that has my ID. So I'm not trying to get busted anywhere and they have to I have to prove who I am. So those 3 things.
Okay.
Yeah.
The only one.
Are there other things?
And the only one question.
Fine, you can ask another question.
Okay. Perks, okay.
Take over.
Who is your favorite friend?
You're so rude. I know who this is aimed at. I have so many great, lovely friends. I have one amazing soulmate. She's my favorite soulmate. I have one amazing habibti. She's my favorite habibti. And they all round me out together. Cough, cough, Seth. I see the shade that Ezinne is throwing your way.
I could see her and I feel WhatsApp me like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah. That's a good question.
If she has her episode, she'll come. Okay. All right. I won't ask another question.
Yeah, because you don't have time to ask anymore. But this has been good, chopping it up. So first of all, I think I never really asked you why you chose LA. And so that's been an interesting story for me to hear. Like I knew the reasons you wanted to leave Oklahoma. I mean, shit. When I planned on
when I graduated or when I was going to graduate, I'd always never planned to stay in Oklahoma. So I know why a lot of people want to leave there. But I didn't know why you moved. So this is cool to hear. It was good hanging out with you. Stay tuned for more Musings with Yoyo episodes. But also, every time I talk to people about entrepreneurship, I always think, okay, all the fears I've had about it, like, what is the point of having a fear and just like keeping yourself paralyzed? So that was good learning for me too. And now the world also knows about our fake surprise party. So if you're listening, any of Ezinne's friends, please throw her a surprise party.
I know that it's gonna be finally you get your own surprise
finally a surprise party you didn't see coming.
Somebody please throw me a surprise party.
You heard.
But I want to also I'm really proud of you for doing this. Like, this was like out the blue. Like one day, like, look,
it was so out the blue. Quarantine got me feeling bold. I was like, I can do anything.
Like from going from like no social media to like
that's what I'm saying.
I was like, who?
Yeah, the first time I posted a while, someone texted me. They're like, "I think someone hacked your account." I was like, "Nah, man, it's me. I'm trying to be active on social media again." So, I'm doing it.
The first time I feel like you've ever been active on social. I don't think you ever.
Never ever. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And I know that it's you're doing. I think that we all love seeing more of you for sure. Well, they do.
Aww.
But I think that the rest of it. I love these episodes, man. Papa Eto is still my favorite episode.
Yes, he was my tester.
I'm a little biased, but like he I loved it, and I loved it. So thank you. I have to watch the last one you did. I think his name, I can't remember his name.
Eisen, that was a good one.
Yeah,
that was a good one. I think you'd really like it.
Okay, all right.
Thank you for doing this with me. I